Meet Dr. C. Norman Sellers. Dr. Sellers is professor of Bible and theology and chairman of the Biblical Languages Department at Miami Christian College, Miami, Florida. He holds degrees from Philadelphia College of Bible, Dallas Theological Seminary, and Grace Theological Seminary. He has pastored churches in Indiana and Florida. Dr. Sellers is the author of Biblical Conclusion Concerning Tongues, Election and Perseverance, and a workbook for New Testament Greek. His first love is the equipping of students to study the Word of God in the languages in which it was written. He has been sharing the richness and clarity of the Greek New Testament with his students since 1965. Hundreds of students have benefited from his instruction. Many of his students have gone on to well-known graduate schools. Many have testified that they are more effective Sunday school teachers, missionaries, or pastors because of the grasp of the Greek which they obtained under Dr. Sellers' tutelage. We are happy to present to you a scholar, a seasoned and wise teacher, a man of God, Dr. C. Norman Sellers.
How important is Greek? Is it worth the long hours, the hard work that we put in? Without question, it is. For instance, there are many things in the particular version of the Bible, any particular version, which you'll have a hard time understanding unless you have a knowledge of the Greek. Now there are other things like word studies, getting a deeper meaning of the word, and then that would help us to understand the text, or the syntax. I've often said that the translation is probably worth about 10% of your study. Word studies are worth another 15%, but syntax or structure is worth 75%. In other words, knowing what modifies what, how this structure fits together, that helps us in interpreting and in outlining. We can learn the outline of a passage and know how to teach it as well as how to preach it. At the same time, many people just can't go to college or seminary, or they've been to college or seminary and just have not put their Greek to work. And some try by correspondence courses, and some of them are very helpful, but there's just a lack there in learning Greek simply by reading a textbook. Well, East West Video Productions now has brought the Greek right into your home, right into your church, simply by videotape. This course is the same one I've been teaching at Miami for many years, as we update it year by year, but the basic course is always there. We have certain distinctives in our course. One is the diagramming. We diagram everything we translate. As soon as you got a noun and a verb, we're diagramming it. As you saw some of the diagramming that we were putting on the board at the top of this particular program. We learn grammar that way. We learn the structure so we can preach. All of this is put together in diagramming, and the students who begin with diagramming are able to use it very effectively. We also use modern pronunciation. Now, Spiros Zodhiates has given us some really good help in modern pronunciation. He's taken the text of Machen and has helped us by pronouncing the words one time, the vocabulary words, and by translating the Greek phrases, the Greek sentences, and the English sentences into the opposite language on tape. We also have from him the whole New Testament read. He takes the whole Greek New Testament and reads it on 23 cassette tapes. A person using these can really help himself with the context of the Greek New Testament. We also are able to use modern phrases and be able to speak to a person. You have a Greek neighbor, you're able to say Yasu, Tikanis, Kalimera, all kinds of things which will help you in getting into the Greek language. We also, when I was in Athens last, I picked up a chorus book. Modern choruses, many of the ones which we use here in this country in English, are in Greek. And we have purchased some of those and have them available as well, along with a tape of some missionary children singing it. Is Greek difficult? Well, no. I really don't believe Greek is difficult. I don't think it takes a super brain to learn Greek. It does take time. It does take dedication. Some people say, well, I've tried to learn Spanish or French or whatever. I suggest to you that learning of Greek to study the Bible is going to be much more important to you than the French or the Spanish that you had in high school. We have various helps that we use. We've used in the classroom for years, and now we're making them available to others. You'll see here we have Machen's New Testament Greek for Beginners, which is our text that we use for this course, and the workbook supplement to Machen. Both of these books are included in the videotapes. Then we also have vocabulary words of Machen. Every vocabulary word that Machen uses is in here, and it's indicated which lesson is on each card so that you can separate them and use them lesson by lesson. Then we have cassette tapes with the vocabulary words repeated about 10 times each for rote memory, and all the forms as well, on 3 cassette tapes. Beside that, we have the nouns and adjective and pronoun cards. We have all the verb declensions on one set of cards, and then the principal parts of 63 irregular verbs. All of these are available to help you to get into the Greek text and to really get a working knowledge of it. I hope that you'll give Greek your serious attention and then embark on this rewarding study and really come to know something about the Greek New Testament and the Word of God. Welcome to New Testament Greek for Beginners. I'm glad you decided to join us because I think that you're going to really enjoy learning the Greek and then learning the New Testament as a result. There are 2 problems that you might encounter, or 2 ways that you can approach this, both of which I hope that you will avoid. One is jumping right in and going 3 or 4 or 5 chapters and seeing how fast you can cover them. And the other, of course, is the other extreme of doing just one section and then dropping off and not doing anything for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Speed is really not that important unless you're doing it for some kind of credit, and then you have a regular deadline that you must meet. But the important thing is consistency. So I hope that in the process of this course, you will set aside a certain amount of time that will meet your goal, whatever your goal happens to be, and then go consistently along with that. We'll be doing, in this session, the first 2 chapters of Machen. Now, we're not going to cover everything in the chapter, but we'll cover what we need to cover in this session. Now, you'll need to have Machen, your textbook, and the workbook with you so that we can guide you along in the study. The first thing we're going to do is look at the pronunciation. Now, remember that the pronunciation we're using is modern pronunciation, not the Erasmic, and we want to go over the letters in that way, in the modern pronunciation, to help you to get a grasp of them, and then we'll go and look at how they are formulated. The Erasmic pronunciation is that which is used in most colleges and seminaries, at least up until maybe a year ago. Then we're beginning to see a swing now to the modern because of the advantages that we mentioned in the previous session. So let's look at the alphabet in order, and we'll just talk about how it's pronounced at this point, and then we'll go through how they are written. Alpha, A. Now, when I say alpha, I'm showing you the symbol, A, like our letter A. I'm also showing you the word alpha. We don't have such a word in English, but the alpha is simply the way it's pronounced. Alpha, this is what it looks like, and this is the pronunciation. In fact, the first sound you make in saying alpha is the phonetic value of it. So we say alpha, A. Then we say vita, V, V. Vita, V. Gamma, G. Now, gamma has a G sound unless it has an E sound following it. If there's an E sound following it, it will be a Y sound. Gamma. Delta, notice I said delta, not delta. We'll see something about that in just a moment, but this is a TH sound, a TH as in the, delta. Epsilon, the short E as in let, epsilon, e. Zeta is a Z sound, zeta, eta, long E as in feet, eta. Theta is a aspirant TH as opposed to the other TH that we had in delta. The delta, theta, th. Air escapes as you say th, think. Iota, EE as in feet, so we say iota. Kappa, English, K, kappa. Lambda, an L sound. Me, the M sound. Ni, the N sound. Xi, the KS as in kicks. X. Omicron, long O as in note, omicron. P as in, P as you've learned in pi r square in math. This is the symbol for pi in math. P we call it, and has the sound of the phonetic value of the English P. The rho is an R sound, but in Greek they roll the R. If you've learned Spanish or French, there's a rolling R there as well. So try to put a little D in front of the rho, R comme. So if you put a D, it'll help you to roll the rho and give you that R sound. Sigma has an S sound, looks like that, in the beginning or middle of a word, and at the end, a sigma like that, like our English S. Toph has a T sound, looks like our T, sounds like our T. Epsilon is another E sound, long E as in feet. The Phi is F, or the PH sound in English, Phi. And then Chi, like the German Ach sound, Chi. And then the Psi, the PS as in lapse, ps, as Zodiades says, like you're calling a cat, ps, ps. And then the Omega, the long O as in note. Now you see the diphthongs here also, and we'll talk about how they are formed in just a moment, but the alpha epsilon, short E as in let, epsilon iota and omicron iota and epsilon iota, all three are long E sounds as in feet. And then the omicron epsilon, the OO is in food. The epsilon, and omicron, or alpha epsilon, are ev and f, or av and off, depending on what follows. And we'll talk about that at the easel in just a moment. That's the way you pronounce the letters of the alphabet. Now we'd like to look at how they are formed. You'll need to use your some scrap paper, get ready, and try to make several of these letters as I'm making them over here. The first one we'll make is the letter alpha, just like the English A, alpha. And there's no need to do anything different, even though some do. This is the way you'll find it in the UBS text, which we will be using the Greek text. So, alpha, alpha. Vita, remember that's a V sound. Vita is like our English B, just like you'd make a B. Vita, vita. Gamma is like that. Just make it, it's a half of the line, see? We're making some short letters, some long, and this is exactly the way they should be made. Don't get sloppy and make them all one size. To make it just like this, and then it comes down like our English G. It goes down below the line, but it only comes up halfway on the main line. Remember that gamma is G as the G as in got, but if it has an E sound after it, either a short E or a long E, and we'll see what they are in just a moment, it will have a Y sound, as in yet. So either G as in got or Y as in yet. That will be the pronunciation for gamma. Delta is like our English S, capital S, except that we close up the bottom. Delta. Delta. And then the epsilon, well, this is a TH as in the. Epsilon, short E, epsilon, and then the like an EH, or the E as in yet. Of course, you have this in your workbook on that page right at back of the title page. So you're following along on those as well. Now, on the tape that we have, on the cassette tapes, we start off by giving you the alphabet, and we'll take it about 5 at a time. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. This will help you learn them by rote. There's much rote learning in Greek, in any language, and those cassette tapes will help you. Now, so that's the first 5 that we do. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. Then we go on with the zeta, and zeta is just a little bit hard to make. You start off with a loop up at the top, and come around. It takes the whole thing. In fact, it goes above the line a little bit. Down, around, and that's zeta. Just a Z sound. Z for zeta. Then after zeta comes eta. Eta, just like our English N. Come down a little bit below the line, and that is a long E sound. E as in feet. E, eta, just like an English N, eta. Then zeta, eta, theta. The theta is like this, as you see on your paper, and it looks like that. Well, try to do it this way so it'll be a little faster for you. Don't pick up your pen, just come around like this. You aren't careful, that can get away from you, but like that, just a theta. That's a TH, as in think. Think, theta. Right? Zeta, eta, theta, iota. Iota, EE as in feet as well. So we have another EE sound. EE, EE. Now, iota. Now, the iota, don't make it just straight, but don't make it too curved either. There's a little hook on the bottom, but don't make an L out of it. Just iota. Kappa, in the, just like our English K, kappa, and it has a K sound as in English. So that's very easy, kappa. Lambda, a slanted line, and then prop it up before it falls down. Lambda, L sound, lambda. Me is like an English U as you'd write it in script. Me. It's probably the most beautiful letter in Greek. Me. The way some people make it. Me, the M sound. Then ni. Ni is like a V, right? Small letter, called the ni, N sound. Ni. Me, ni. Then we have xi. Xi is very much like zeta. Remember zeta? I'll put zeta in here first. Zeta, that's what we had before. Now, here is, let me put that in parentheses so you won't get the idea that's it. Xi is much like that, this way. Xi. Okay. Xi, it's the KS as in kicks. That sound. Xi. Omicron is just like our O. No problem, just make a little O. And that is the long O as in note. Note. Omicron. P. P is like the symbol for math. P. You called it in math pi. Remember pi r square? Well, we call it P. And besides, pi aren't square anyway. Cornbread are square, pi are round, actually. In any case, this is P, the P sound, as English P. Then we have Rho, and notice I try to roll that a little bit. It's a little hard for people who only had English in the background. Rho, Rho. Start with at the bottom, bring it up and around, Rho. Just like our English R, a little bit of a D in front of it. Rho, Rho. Then after Rho comes sigma. Sigma. And there's an S sound. Sigma is just an S sound. And there's another way to form. Let's go with this again. Sigma, like you would an O, comes around like this, up the whole bottom line. Sigma. If you have a sigma at the end of a word, it will have a little different ending, this, sigma. So that's why it's in parentheses like that, because that's an alternate way of saying it. If you say the word, for instance, the word is, that would be a sigma that way. But if you had the word which has that as a second letter, it would go like that. So, ending, middle, or beginning, sigma. Taf is this letter, T, just plain old T. Now that's a T sound, just like in English, T, T, Taf, pronounced Taf. And then Epsilon, long E as in feet. It's just like our English U, but we pronounce it E, Epsilon. Then the Phi, again, this one looks like that, but we'll keep our pen down and come around and make it that way. So Phi, Phi. Remember the opposite of that was the theta. We had it this way, theta, round. So this is a vertical line, theta has a horizontal line. And this is only half of the line, the theta is the whole line. So keep those separate. F sound, remember, or as in English we have a PH. This is Phi. Taf, Epsilon, Phi. Then Chi. The Chi, if it were capital, it would be this. The lowercase is this. It crosses here at the line. So, down here again. Chi. Right? So, this is the Chi, and it's the German Ach. Like that. Ach. Chi. And then the Psi and Omega. Psi. PS. Ps, like you're calling the cat. Ps, remember? And then Omega. Omega. Long O as in note. Remember, Jesus said, I am the Alpha and the Omega. All he was saying was, I am the first and the last. The first letter and the last letter. In English, he would probably say, I am the A and the Z. All right, that's the alphabet. Now we need to look a little bit at the diphthongs. Remember we said that there were, we talked about diphthongs without identifying them. A diphthong is simply two vowels coming together to form the same sound. Two vowels, the same sound. We have them in English, just as they do in Greek. We use this one in the word isle in English. And so many people use that pronunciation, isle, the English sound for A-I. Well, alpha iota in modern Greek is a short E sound, E, that E sound there, Now, that's the same as our letter epsilon. So we have actually two of these now. Alpha iota, Then we have three that are long E sounds, epsilon iota, omicron iota, and epsilon iota. Now these are all E sounds, so I'll just put it like this, E as in feet, E. Then the one that Machen has the same as modern is the U. I'm not saying Machen is wrong, I'm saying Machen is different. And that's not saying the same thing. U, omicron epsilon, OO as in food. Then we have two which are much alike, and that is the epsilon, and the alpha epsilon. Epsilon, will be pronounced EV or EF, EV or EF, depending on what follows. Now, that will be a natural thing. There's no problem with it, so we don't need to learn all those letters that follow. In fact, it's a little hard to tell whether you say Ev or F. If I say F codisto or F codisto, you can't tell much difference. So we will not worry about what follows, but it'll be either EV or EF, or AV or AF. There's a word like this, for instance. This is tafta. Tafta means these things. taf, ta. I don't say tav, ta. I say taf, ta because of what follows. But it's a natural thing. It'll be easy for you to handle, I think. So those are the letters and their pronunciations. The formation, you should take practice on these. Try to use them as much as possible. Write them down. Test yourself. Close the book. Write them out again. Make sure that you can do that. Learn them from the tape. Learn them in order. It's because you'll be using the alphabetical listing as you look up words in the dictionary or whatever. So learn the words in order. Learn to write them. Learn the sound of them. Then you'll need also to learn the accents. We won't bother to learn the rules of accent now. It doesn't mean that accents aren't important.